Premier Christy Clark has laid out an ambitious plan pledging to put the province in first place in the country for job creation and economic development. Clark spent the week doling out funding and programs to jumpstart BC's economy. Today she laid out her full agenda before BC's business community. CTV's legislative reporter Stephen Andrew is in Vancouver today and shows us how Clark's plan is being received.
Christy Clark could not have picked a more receptive audience to lay out the pinnacle of her job creation plan. And she wasted no time telling the business community why they were the chosen ones.
To create new jobs for British Columbians. And it's time to do it again.
But the Liberals are providing money and incentives. Among today's announcements, $50 million to improve the BC-owned rail corridor, $24 million to speed up permit for natural resource development, a commitment to establish 8 new mines and the expansion of 9 existing mines, and the creation of offices or boards to promote investment, economic development, and improve relations with Aboriginal communities.
Canada.
Clark began rolling out her jobs plan Monday, with millions for rail expansion to the port of Prince Rupert, tax credits for business and skills training, and plans to double the number of international students in British Columbia in the next 4 years. But after 4 days of announcements, no target on the number of jobs that will be created.
So I'm not going to get into playing that game, but what we are talking about is making sure that British Columbia is at least in the top 2 of GDP growth and job growth in the country.
The BC Federation of Labour is giving the jobs plan a failing grade.
There's nothing that I've seen in the last week which will turn into real jobs guaranteed to British Columbians in British Columbia.
So far, all of the announcements have been made here in Vancouver or elsewhere on the mainland. The Premier says she's been too busy to make a stop between Greater Victoria and Port Hardy, but says her jobs plan will have a ripple effect for those living and working on Vancouver Island.
Vancouver Island does play a big role in this because Vancouver Island has a big clean tech community, for example, and tech community down on the South Island. Agri-foods is a booming business in Cowichan Valley, as an example. Those are areas, forestry in the North Island. These are going to be areas we are going to be focused on like a laser beam to try and grow jobs.
You know, look, there's nothing in this plan for Vancouver Island. It's like the Premier doesn't think, you know, Vancouver Island exists off the coast.
The opposition says it's not the first time Liberal promises have fallen through, claiming the 2010 Winter Olympics have done nothing for tourism on the island.
The forest industry in particular are essentially left out of this plan.
Premier's staff says she will get to Vancouver Island, but in 2 weeks' time. Stephen Andrew, CTV News, Vancouver.